And yet almost everybody fears death, as if we know full well it's the greatest evil. Isn't this the most shameful ignorance of all? To think that you know the things that you don't. I do differ from most people on this point. And if I ever say I'm wiser than someone else, it's on this point precisely. That not knowing enough about Hades, at least I admit my ignorance. I do know, though, that it's bad and shameful to harm one's betters and to disobey them, whether they're gods or humans. I will never be guided by fear and end up doing things I know are wrong in order to accomplish things I don't know for sure they're right. So you see, members of the court, even if you let me go now, because you don't believe Anytus, then you said to me, Socrates, we don't believe Anytus, and we'll set you free on one condition, that you shall refrain at all times from philosophizing and examining people. And if you're ever caught doing so, you die. If you let me go on this condition, then I would say to you, men, I love you. I appreciate you. But I think I will obey the God and not you. And for as long as I breathe and I'm able to, I will continue philosophizing and counseling every single one of you. I will even reproach you every time we happen to meet, repeating the same things I've always said. You, my friend, an Athenian, citizen of the greatest and most renowned of cities for its wisdom and power, you should be ashamed to be interested only in money and how to make more of it. You should be ashamed to care about glory and honor and not to care about truth, prudence, your soul. And if anyone challenges me, saying he truly cares about these things, I promise I will not let him go, but I will question him and examine him. And if I get the sense that he is not virtuous, even though he claims that he is, I will reprimand him for caring so little about what's important and so much about what is unimportant. I will do this no matter who I meet, young or old, fellow citizen or foreigner, because you see, that's what the God has ordered me to do. You must understand this, once and for all. I'm convinced, you see, that up until now there hasn't been a greater good for you and the city than this service I offer to the God. Because I wander about doing nothing other than persuading the young and the old among you not to care so passionately about your bodies and your money, but rather to care about your soul, how to make it better. I keep stressing that virtue is not acquired with money, but rather that money and all material goods, public or private, are the result of virtue. If these words corrupt the young, then they are indeed dangerous. So you see, members of the court, whether you listen to to Anytus or not. Whether you set me free or not, I don't intend to change my ways. Even if I have to die many times over. Bear in mind, though, that if you condemn me to death, and I am indeed who I say I am, you're not going to harm me as much as you're going to harm yourselves. No, Melitus and Anytus can't harm me either. They don't have the power. Because I don't believe that a good man can be harmed by a bad one. Oh, Melitus would kill me, of course. Or deprive me of my civil rights. Or send me to exile. Oh, yes. He and others consider such penalties to be great evils. Not I. I consider it far worse for one to do what he is doing now. Trying to unjustly kill a man. It should be clear, then, that I'm not presently defending myself for my sake, as one may think, but rather for yours. Because by convicting me, you'd be committing a sin in the eyes of the God, being contemptuous of what he gave you. If you kill me, you'll never find another one like me. Appointed by the God to be always at the side of the city, which, by way of its size, resembles a big, sluggish thoroughbred in need of a horsefly to wake it up. I think that's what the God has assigned me to do in the city. All day long to sting you awake, prod your mind, and wandering about endlessly to challenge and reproach every single one of you, separately. Truly, I don't think you'll ever find another one like me. And if you believe what I'm saying, you should acquit me.